Thank you for joining us today. I'm Chris DeBoy with Vetus Maxwell, and today we're going to talk about 48-volt DC systems and the equipment that Vetus Maxwell provides to connect into 48-volt DC battery banks. 48-volt DC usage has been used in many industries and has been recognized for its efficiencies. If we take a look at the telephone industry, they've been using 48-volt DCs for many years. As well as data processing and supercomputers have been using 48 volt for data processing for many years, as well as EV vehicles. We're seeing electric vehicles utilize 48 volts in those vehicles for accessories and other devices, as well as some main propulsion products. 48 volt DC has been known to be very efficient, especially when you compare it to the lower voltages of 24 and 12 volts. 48 volts uses smaller cabling, is able to make longer cable runs, and it has much less power loss. Compared to 12 volts, it's actually 16 times less power loss than a 12 volt circuit. We can utilize off-the-shelf batteries, and these batteries can be lead acid, AGM, or the latest lithium that's available. And 48 volts DC is also seen as a standard that falls under SELV, or safety extra low voltage, meaning that the shock hazard from 48 volts is much less reduced compared to higher voltages. Vetus has actually been utilizing 48 volts in its products for many years. We introduced a 285 kilogram 48 volt thruster over 20 years ago, and that unit provides 630 pounds of thrust, 24 horsepower, and it's designed for that boat in the 80-foot range. This product's been in the catalog for many years, utilizing a standard DC brush motor on-off technology. Several years ago, we offered the rim drive product, which was our latest thruster with permanent magnet motor technology. And this is a brushless motor design that is extremely quiet, completely proportional, highly efficient, and uses low currents at the 48 volt DC draw. This product has one moving part in its design, and it really kicked off our latest technology in bow thruster design. So we've taken that technology from the rim drive, and a couple of years ago, we introduced our new Bow Pro thrusters. And recently, we've introduced our new 48 volt Bow Pro thrusters. Again, these are brushless, low voltage induction AC motors, and these are industrial three-phase motors that you could find in any industrial application. These are off-the-shelf motors. They're completely sealed. They are brushless, so they are very quiet compared to a brush motor. The real brains or magic behind our new Bow Pro thrusters is our motor controller, where we take the DC, the 48 volt DCs in, and we're actually converting that to a low voltage AC out to the motor. And then we're doing all of this by way of our proprietary CAN bus utilizing VCAN two-way communication. This provides precise proportional control, extended or unlimited run times, only dependent upon the size of the battery bank. And it makes these units very reliable with very low maintenance. Our current offerings in 48 volt include some small models, a 36, 57, and 76 kilogram unit. And then we also have 180, 210 48 volt units available for those larger vessels. We will be introducing in second quarter of 2021 a 285, a 300, and a 320 kilogram unit. And that really takes us into that 70, 80 foot vessel range. So with the proportional Bow Pro 48 volt units. And then later this year, we'll be introducing our larger units, which will take us into that 100-foot vessel range with our 48 volt thrusters. We also have a single joystick you see there at the bottom. That single joystick allows us to have a bow and stern Bow Pro thruster connected through one joystick. And we're able to actually make the boat go sideways or rotate the boat on its axis utilizing a single joystick. So introducing our new 48 volt battery charger. Well, our new 48 volt battery charger is actually our Bow Pro 48 volt thruster. So the thruster has a capability of a third battery connection on the motor controller that's able to connect into a 24 volt battery bank, such as in this diagram here, we have a larger cruiser with 24-volt engines utilizing two 12-volt batteries. And we're able to take that 24-volt source, tie it into that third battery connection on the Valpro thruster, and it actually monitors that connection, and it will go ahead and open up that connection and take and convert that 24 volts up to 48 volts and charge the 48-volt thruster bank. So how it does this, it offers smart charging features, capable of charging lead acid and AGM batteries at this time. It actually monitors that connection, and it will only turn on when it sees the correct voltage is available, because we don't want to deplete those start bank from the engine. So the only time we'll get to that voltage level is if the engine's running and the alternator is charging that starting bank. So it has a 3-stage charge profile. So we have the bulk absorption and float. It takes 24 volts in up to 80 amps, and it's able to output 48 volts up to 40 amps and charge that 48-volt thruster bank. Very unique to the industry. We are also the only thruster manufacturer to receive NEMA 2000 certification for connection of our thrusters and our VCAN CAN bus into NEMA 2000. This is very unique to the industry. NEMA just recently launched the PGNs last year for thruster connections, and we were standing by and ready with our VCAN to NEMA gateway to allow us to connect in. We can do both monitoring and control from a NEMA 2000 network. We see here on this page that all the different parameters that we can actually monitor. We can see RPM, voltage, we can see the amount of current, the temperature, as well as the motor controller temperature. We have the alarms. There's over speed alarms, low voltage alarms, high current alarms, and then we can actually monitor the charge feature that our Valpro thrusters are providing. We also have a full range of Maxwell windlasses in 48 volts. So we have our complete RC, HRC, VW, VWC, HWC, and VC that utilize 1,000 watt and 1,200 watt motors. These are all available in 48 volt. And these provide maximum pulls up to 4,000 pounds in this range. In the wiring schematic for our windlasses, we're supplying the motor through the 48 volts through a solenoid pack. And the actual switching of that solenoid pack is still done by a 12 volt or 24 volt circuit, depending on how the boat is wired. So basically what we're doing is taking the 48 volts and passing it through the solenoid to the 48 volt windlass motor, but we're still utilizing 12 or 24 volts for the switching circuits within the vessel. So here we don't have to worry about the long runs of 48 volts into uncommon areas like the helm or other areas, and just rely on the battery bank to the solenoid to the motor for that 48 volts. So very efficient and very useful. When we're looking at connecting in, if we already have that 48 volt bank for a thruster, we might as well go ahead and connect other equipment to it. And that's the advantages there for that. So thank you very much for your time. Again, I'm Chris Boy with Vetus Maxwell. Appreciate you taking the time today to look at our 48 volt offerings. You can reach us anytime at the vetus.com website, and you can take a look at the 48 volt products there on the website, as well as you can email us anytime in the Maryland office at sales-service@vetus.com. That goes direct to our customer service team. Whether you have a sales question or a technical support question, please contact us and we can help you out. And we also have our number there, 410-712-0740. That puts you direct into our Maryland warehouse, where our hours are 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Thank you all very much for your time. Have a great afternoon.